are going to enter the theater of your imagination non-stop and annoyingly. One of the things you need to do in your life at some point is push yourself farther than you can go. So you kind of push yourself past the point of exhaustion. Think, oh, that's good. There's the point of exhaustion.
Jordan Peterson on becoming mentally tough. The wise practices of humanity and the strong psychological concepts gathered over centuries unite to clarify your tale. They also say that avoiding something you need to perform will cause you trouble. It makes you weaker and the world worse. If you don't get your story straight and stop avoiding, then what happens? You become a miserable person with a low quality life, and existence can torture you beyond your endurance. That isn't nice, but the next step is that you become someone who isn't positively predisposed to existence. You'll hop on that because you're terrified, and they promise security, and because you're spiteful, bitter, and full of hatred and waiting for the chance to take it out on someone, especially if you behave morally and superiorly. Hitler and Stalin effectively offered the same thing to their respective peoples. It was an inversion of the order. Anyone who is pathologically resentful could be as murderous as they wanted to be. It's feasible for people to notice their lives, so they straighten out. And if you straighten out, you get tough and useful. And if you're tough and useful, life isn't so horrible. Or you can hack it, limit your success, so it doesn't corrupt you. That's possible, but you won't be a dictator, pragmatist, or social threat. Perhaps it's better. You'll be good for you and your family, which is good. That will benefit your neighborhood if you're happy. It benefits your family, community, and possibly the globe. That's a terrific goal because life is hard enough. To justify it, you need an adventure. Getting your act together is a wonderful adventure. That's hard, and an adventure if it's your main goal. Things happen when you don't avoid things. Tell the truth and aim high. Until we have our act together and see things clearly, you should learn this because it's a citizen's duty. It's the right road for someone trying to do the right thing in the world, and it's the best thing you can do, not only because what's right is best for you.
Well, you can't stay there, because if you stay at the point of exhaustion for any length of time, well then, you'll degenerate, right? Because that's just too much. But you can find that point, and then you can pull back, and you can think, okay, well, I can't go farther than that. I kind of know where my limit is now. I can pull back, and I can operate within that limit, but then at least you know where your limit is. And that's an unbelievably useful thing to do as well. And the other thing too is like, well, how are you ever going to discover if you could possibly be successful at whatever you want to be successful at unless you push yourself in at least one direction right to your bloody limit? The major advantage, I think, to making a case very strongly that one of the fundamental realities of life is its suffering is that it's actually a relief to people to hear that, because they suspect it. Well, they know it, but no one's forthright about it. It's like, yeah, life is suffering. Okay, fine. So where does that leave us? Well, here's where it leaves us. It turns out that even though life is suffering, if you're sufficiently courageous and forthright and honest, let's say, in your approach, and you don't shy away, what you'll find is that there's something within you that will respond to the challenge of suffering with the development of ability that will transcend the suffering. So the pessimism is, yeah, well, life is rife with problems at every level. But the upside is, if you turn and confront that voluntarily, that you'll find something in yourself that can develop and master that. Built for struggle, us human beings. You're not after the bubbles of bliss that Dostoevsky described in Notes from Underground. We're built to contend with the world. We're built to contend with reality. You want a challenge, and the best way that you can take on a challenge, because a challenge fortifies you. So you don't want to be secure, you want to be strong. And you get strong by taking on optimal challenges. And so you lay out your destiny in the world, and you take the slings and arrows of fate, and you make yourself stronger while you're doing so. And you might fail, and fortune might do you in, but it's your best bet. It's a critique in some sense also of the idea of the patriarchy. I know, because the patriarchy is this dominant, oppressive hierarchy that everyone's embedded in. And the social constructionist, social justice warrior, postmodernist types think about that as a social construction. It's like, how about no? That's just wrong. Lobsters have hierarchies. That's 1/3 of a billion years ago. Okay, that's not a social construction. It's part of being itself. And if you only see a hierarchy as power and tyranny, then you're looking at the world wrong. Like, it's true that hierarchies can be tyrannical and dominant. And a degenerated hierarchy is nothing but tyranny. But in a functional society, the hierarchy is actually the structure of the society, and you're actually protected within it. Well, then how you relate to that hierarchy is very important, but that's part of personal development. That's part of standing upright, and then people in the hierarchy think, oh, well, you're someone who could do good things for the hierarchy. Let's promote you.